Welcome! I'm Exobob, and I'm trying to go from the low levels of Counter-Strike to a professional level, which might just be me on HLTV, and that's it, or I win a major. Either way, I'm doing it because I love Counter-Strike, I want to inspire you guys, and I want to reach my potential. So get in here, join the train, join the road, let's journey. This is Editor Lucas. These videos will get shorter and more specific, and I won't be talking all the time. Just wait for it. I don't blame you for leaving halfway through. Okay, yes, last video did great, guys. Round of applause. I'm at like 380 subscribers and it got like almost 3,000 views, I think, which is super cool. You know what I mean? Like, it's surpassed my expectations for this point in the YouTube channel, right? This is very early stages, so yeah, I'm floored. And a lot of you guys have reached out, and a lot of positivity and encouragement, which is great. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not floating on a cloud, but it's, it feels good to know that, that there isn't a bunch of people telling me I'm an idiot. Although those people do exist, but that's just how it is. Yeah, like my May goal, the month of May, was 200 subscribers, and my June goal, June was 200, July was 500, is 500, and August is 900, and it goes from there. So we're getting close to the July goal, which is great because it's not even it's July, it's not even summer yet, so we'll definitely cruise our way there. And yeah, like I said, you guys reached out with comments and stuff, and that's great. I just want to first say thanks for all the help. It's awesome, but I'm gonna lay down the law, or just maybe some prerequisites for when you do leave suggestions and help, because I need to make sure this is as efficient as it can be. So first of all, if you're here to tell me that how hard it is to go pro or all that kind of stuff, I'm fully aware of that. I'm literally committing years of my life pursuing this project. This is not just a side thing for me. So A, that's that. And second, if you're gonna leave a suggestion about what I should be doing, make sure you say what I should be doing, why I should be doing it, and I would appreciate if you also say why you're qualified. Because if you just say you should do this, that doesn't help me at all. And if you say you should do this because why, the why will help me understand why, but it doesn't necessarily give me proof. But if you say I'm face at level 10 and you should do this because of this, that's amazing information. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not saying if you're lower level, don't point out things. Like, we all are better at different things, and I'm just ground rules. Yeah, okay, jump into the actual video now. I'm trying to climb Faceit, because I think that's a really good measure of skill in Counter-Strike, and just, it's a good place to find skilled people to play against, and it's Faceit, guys. And some of you have pointed out that maybe that's not the best way to do it, or Faceit isn't actually great and all that, but I think for me right now, I think climbing the ranks of Faceit is the best way for me to measure my improvement as a player, because I think Faceit is one of the best ways to measure your skill, maybe more your individual skill, right? But it is good at that, right? And the focus of this video in some ways is going to be on how I'm going to be working on team plays. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I am not opposed to playing ESEA or on a team or any of that, but I don't think I'm there yet. I need to just take a few months maybe to develop foundation so that I can really shoot off of it. Yeah, sorry, I should touch on it now. Me and my friends are taking Counter-Strike kind of seriously, and especially my brother, and he and I are going to build, and my other friends are going to build an actual strat book, and my brother's going to try out IGLing, and we're going to take Counter-Strike seriously in that way, and play like structured Counter-Strike and see where we can go with that. And I think that's a great place for me to be right now, and to really just develop that teamwork element. So that's what I'm going to be doing right now. Who knows what I'm doing in 6 months, but I'm playing with a bunch of other guys at a different level on ESEA next year, whatever. I'll continue to reevaluate what's going to help me get better as efficiently as possible. Oh, second quick note, I know I'm talking a lot, but making these videos I'm not putting all my effort into these videos, which means that I miss a lot of things. Like, I'm practicing a lot and I'm learning a lot, and there's a lot of thought going into this, but a lot of it doesn't yet make it into a video because I'm still figuring out a process for how to take what I'm learning and the thoughts and all that, document it, A, so that I can reference it for myself and getting better, but B, so that I can make a video out of it. And that system I'm still developing, and it's going to take some time, but I'm focusing more on slow improvement than trying to get it all right at once, because that's the incorrect way to approach something like this. I wrote down, I'm taking my time to develop my Counter-Strike philosophy, or just the way I'm approaching the game, right? And that's kind of the flip side of that. As I'm developing the back end you know, the logistical element. I'm also just trying to identify my identity in the game, you know, how I want to approach it, and where my strengths are, and like my role in some ways too, right? That's a pretty common way to look at it. Anywho, last week, I met my 1300 elo goal, which is great. And then for next week, I have a goal of 1400 elo, but this week I reached 1460 something. And again, I don't remember what it is, but I know it was more than 1400. So that's pretty cool. I lost all of it. I'm back down to 13 something, but that's just the way it goes. We went on a win streak and then a lose streak. The lose streak was because we were starting to play as a team a bit more, and it's kind of switched things up and it's new. So we're getting used to it, me and my friends. So that's why I fell down a little bit, but I'm sure our ceiling is much higher once we develop that team play. So in some sense, the goal for 1400 elo has just been reset, and next Saturday that can be the goal as it was before, right? I'm only 2 wins off of it and stuff. And again, these goals are not, it's not like if I reach this, like it's just a rough guideline so that I know I'm keeping track of my progress and whatnot, right? That's how goals, that's what goals are for. Yeah, again, won a bunch of games, lost a bunch of games. There's a lot to focus, a lot to touch on. I just not gonna be able to talk about it in the video, but you can see the clips. I've had some good moments, but there's been a lot of bad moments too. And next week I'll try and include more lowlights and whatnot. These videos will get better over time. You know what I mean? Still, obviously, you can tell I'm still figuring things out. Yeah, and first change in regards to that, figuring things out, is I'm gonna flip knowledge and mechanics in order for the videos. So I'm gonna jump straight into knowledge because I think that's a better thing to talk about first in terms of categories of my game. And it's more of a focus. My mechanics are ahead of my knowledge, my brain, that side of my brain. So yeah, last week I decided I'm gonna try and learn all the basic grenades for this week. Didn't do that. Big fail. Just didn't do it. It didn't make it on my to-do list for some reason, and I didn't pursue that. So I did study and I did learn some things, and we, you know, looked at more kind of figuring out defaults and studying some team setups and all that kind of stuff. So it's not like I'm not smarter player than last week or knowledgeable than last week, but I didn't accomplish that goal, and that's also something that I want to do. So for next week, I'm going to try and make sure, next video, I'm going to make sure I have all those grenades learned. Just basic nades, just so I can hop in any map and feel like I know kind of what to throw. But along with that, know what a default kind of looks like and what some execs look like on all the basic, all the active duty maps, because those kind of go together, right? So that's the goal for next week. And also, I'm going to touch on this quickly. One of you asked or whatever about Leadify, and if I use Leadify, and to touch on that, I'm not going to touch on Leadify or Scope.gg, both of which I use in this video, because I haven't yet developed a strategy for how I'm going to use those in this, you know, getting better journey. So that will come, just not today. Mechanics. Just gonna run through my routine and talk about what I'm doing, what I'm focusing on when I do it. I'm not saying this is the perfect routine at all. Still developing this, but this is just what it looks like currently, and I'm working on developing this because you guys have had good suggestions. Last week I talked about how I play bots, and I wanted, you know, figure out a way to measure bots. I'm not even going to talk about that in today's video because I haven't figured that out yet, because I'm still exploring exactly what my routine, what I want it to look like. So right now I jump straight into Kovacs Aim Trainer and run through a scenario provided by Voltaic, the aim training community. Kovacs is awesome, and there's been a few of you that have mentioned I'm surprised actually that this is quite a common train of thought in the Counter-Strike community, at least, that you should stay in-game when you're doing all your aim training. I can get it, but this is my opinion, I think that's an outdated way to look at it. Kovacs is just, it's fundamental aim training, and I don't see how that cannot transfer into Counter-Strike at all. I only spend 10 minutes of it before I do in-game stuff, and the in-game stuff I practice a lot more than Kovacs, but by starting in Kovacs, I can isolate my aim, just my aim, my raw aim. It's like a player, you know, plays soccer. Most of the time he spends training soccer, but it's like your workout. Like he works out his legs and his core, or I don't know what soccer players do, but you do that a little bit because you have to make sure that is as good as it can be. And Kovacs is great. Okay, moving on. After Kovacs, I work on my spray control, and right now I'm just focusing on actually hitting all the bullets. I'm not yet working on spray transfers because I just want to make sure I have a good spray, just good basic spray. Then I do some bots, working on consistency, hitting all the heads, and then I do headshot deathmatch. So I work on my first bullet accuracy, to the head. And then I play regular rifle deathmatch. And again, I'm working on consistency, just making sure that my bullets are hitting the people and I'm killing them. So anywho, that's that. I'm working to make these all measurable. I will alter my routine and all these things, but not yet. Working on it. Next, team play. Yes, I talked about this already, but me and my friends are trying to, in some sense, become some sort of a team, right? And that's super cool. And I think it'll be a really good way for all of us to learn what it means to kind of play in some sort of a team and encounter the challenges that come with playing as a team. So, we're building a strat book. We're studying more defaults and XX and strategies that all sorts of teams use. That's part of Counter-Strike, and it's fun to actually look into it. So that's what we're doing. I don't have any specifics to talk about, but this will come. That's working on it. So yeah, just for next week, I said I was going to learn in knowledge. My goal was to learn all the basic nades, but I also want to learn some defaults and all that, but I can extend that goal in some ways to team play, make sure that I have some kind of an understanding for the setups that teams play. So lastly, foundations. I've talked about what foundation was in the last video, but as a reminder, it's anything that doesn't fit into the prior 3 categories or 4. So, getting good sleep or having a good computer and peripherals and anything like that. That's what foundations covers. So, last week I talked about trusting the process, and I'm still trying to do that. You know what I mean? It's just when you're doing a big project like this, you can't think too much about what's happening. You just got to trust that you put in the work, it's going to happen. That's been good. I did talk about last week, I want to study kind of hand stretches and posture even, and making sure that I'm staying healthy while I'm playing the game. Didn't research that yet, but I will. There's a lot to manage. But one thing I'm going to talk about, or one thing I'll say now, maybe I should have talked about this earlier, is that, foundations covers a lot of IRL or real life stuff, right? And I think it's a very good likelihood that next Saturday there will not be a video, because I'm going to take this week as I have to figure out some IRL stuff, because sometimes you gotta figure out stuff and then come back to the game, right? You need to take a break, or in my case, it's get some other stuff done, because I need to get that stuff done. Not a long-term thing, but just life is life. I don't need to talk about it anymore. Maybe I put something out on Saturday. I'm not sure yet. Before you go and leave, this is the outro, but go to my second channel. That's where I'm gonna be putting long-form content like gameplay and footage and all that. Only thing I put up this week was some op deathmatch, and it was some really casual deathmatch, but if you want to watch me play deathmatch, go check it out. I want to upload more point of view demos and deathmatch and maybe my aim routine. I could just record it one morning. Also follow me on Twitter. I'm gonna make an Instagram and I'm gonna do short form content. That's coming, something at a time. And yeah, now that I'm at the end of the video, the only people that are still watching are the real homies. So first of all, I'm going to reiterate the vision for this whole project, right? And now it's going to work. I'm going to do my end of the bargain is getting as good as I can at Counter-Strike and making the content, right? And I'm going to do that. Your job as a supporter is to there's 2 things. Help me get better at the game, right? So if there's something you think you can help me with, or you have an idea, or you have something that I probably don't, comment section, guys. I talked about it earlier. Help me out. But second part of it is making Exobob, the brand, as successful as it can be, because then we can reach more people, and more people we reach, the more knowledge we can share between all of us. And the bigger this can become, and the bigger this can become, the more likelihood that there is a way I can make money off of this, and then therefore spend more time on it and have it become full circle thing, English language. So yeah, lastly, a lot of talking in this video, but do your thing. What do you want to do? What's your passion? Find that thing, chase it. And tell me about it too. If it has nothing to do with Counter-Strike, I don't care. You want to start you make pianos. That's all I could come up with. Do it. That's sick. I want to hear about it. Because we all have things we want to do. So